Hi, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy afternoon to join me. I really do appreciate it. Whether you're just getting home from a place or you're just, kicking it with some people, you feel me? I do, in fact, mean all of those things that I just said, and I'm kind of on one, in case you didn't notice, and so let's get right into it. We're gonna talk about wheels falling off and an open letter to the Drug Enforcement Administration, a good old arm of Uncle Sam. And as we all know, Uncle Sam is very much like an octopus. You feel me? They have many, many arms, or it has many, many arms. They, as in the many governments around the world that continue to bully the very communities that they seek to do business in. And so, all right, when the wheels fall off, let's talk about that expression because I feel like it is a really good metaphor. It's a very good analogy. What's a metaphor, Hamhead? I think about that line from Richie Rich. Anyways, they explain it better than I do. However, when the wheels fall off is a metaphor that's used in like life. Sometimes when you're driving a car or when you're living your life, in both instances, the wheels fall off. Quite literally, figuratively, metaphorically, all of those three ways that it can happen, it most definitely does. And they're all interchangeable and it's all relatable. Today, I made a huge mistake. And while I'm in character, I want to acknowledge that I'm a human being. And sometimes I make mistakes. I'm sorry. That doesn't mean that I should be able to just, not be held accountable. I did something today that I should not have done. And when the wheels fall off, you need not do what I did, which is get upset and blame everybody else around you, for your own problems. And that's exactly where I was this morning. And so before we get into this little rant that we're going to get into about the Drug Enforcement Administration and how they did something terrible here in my local community, I do want to reiterate that I love you and I'm sorry. And I hope that you're willing to allow me the continued opportunity to be a part of your life because I think you're an amazing woman. I think you're the most incredible person that I've ever been around. And, I'm sorry. Do not let my shortcomings ruin what I think is going to be the best thing in both of our lives. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be that guy that is stressing you out and making you feel like a kind of way. That being said, I love you and I'm sorry. She knows who I'm talking to, and I hope that she forgives me because these videos don't ever go away. And also, I mean what I say. This community that we have here on YouTube, it's taken almost a decade to get just the few thousand followers that we have, I mean, this has been some real work. And so that's why sometimes I bring in real problems into my real work because that's how intertwined sometimes life can be. To the Drug Enforcement Administration here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, thank you for the individuals who came out and spoke on behalf of, the very people that fund their paychecks. I think that was admirable, honorable, and quite telling. For some time now, I think we had a video last year that I posted that delved really deep into the inner workings of the local politics here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and how, point in fact, the New Mexico State Fairgrounds had been recently put up for sale and was sold and now is going to be redeveloped. And as a result, many businesses in and or adjacent to the New Mexico State Fairgrounds here in Albuquerque, New Mexico were eminent domain. And in case you don't know what that means, it's just a friendly reminder that while you think you own everything that you own, if Uncle Sam wants it, Uncle Sam is taking it, and they can by law, which means it's legal. And so it's really interesting that last year we're making videos about how the displacement of low and impoverished members in my community were being harassed and or targeted. Well, just this past week, that was confirmed publicly. And so while we may have a press conference coming up here with our state governor, and kudos to our state governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, really an awesome woman. And I have to give her credit because she's about to stand up on principle on behalf of a group of people for a community that is not otherwise stood up for. And that's something. All right. And what's not okay is that now we have, in fact, empirical evidence from whistleblowers, people that have worked with the Drug Enforcement Administration. I guess we'll say those of them that had a heart or a good conscience, or dare I even say soul, because fact check me. For at least 4 years, the DEA was with intent just flooding my local community with fentanyl, with methamphetamine, and with all other kinds of illicit narcotic and substances. And while there might be a place in the medical field for all of those things, where there is no place for those things is within the community, being used as a weapon to ultimately displace people and, in most cases, end their life. It sounds like a whole lot of intent. It sounds like a whole lot of malice. Sounds like a whole lot of predetermined outcomes that aren't good for anybody that actually live within that community. Now, it's interesting because we can, not just in theory, but quite literally, prevent and stop all crime from happening overnight, But we choose not to do that for whatever reason, political or not. I guess the door's got to stay open for business, I mean, again, that's a different topic to explore. However, I just don't think it's appropriate that the DEA has a license to break apart communities at the very fabric and at the very core of what a community is, which is a group of people living peacefully together in a certain place that have and continue to, without interference from their government, in the literal sense that their government, who was supposed to be protecting them, is the very one that is causing them irreparable harm. Now, it's not a theory. This isn't a political debate. We now know, again, for like the 4th time, that the DEA came into Albuquerque, New Mexico, knowingly and with intent to distribute and not do anything at all about the distribution of aforementioned illegal substances. They got paychecks to watch their fellow Americans suffer. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I'm just some dude who literally just got through telling you that sometimes in life people make mistakes and the wheels fall off. And when that happens, you must be held accountable for your actions. And more importantly, you got to do something about it, right? Because I do strongly feel like acknowledging what you've done wrong is 3/4 of the way that it is going to need for you to be taking to make things right. It's the biggest step. But there also is a little bit more. You also have to actually come through and do all of those things. And so the wheels have fallen off here in Albuquerque. Not just for your boy here, who's dealing with a lot of stuff right now. And again, who, shout out mid-break in this sort of topic, is in love with the girl and can't seem to get his own priorities straight as it concerns just what exactly that means and how I need not to act. So I encourage you, Drug Enforcement Administration to look at yourself. Look at yourself as a governmental entity and ask yourself if what you're doing is right. I think we all know what the answer is. The answer is no. The wheels have fallen off, my guy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What is the DEA going to do? Are you going to save face? Pretend like it's a matter of national security and the community members' lives don't matter and that you'll get back to it? We'll get back to that topic. Or are you going to be held accountable for your actions and go back to that very same community that you destroyed and do your very best to make it better again? Because those thousands of people that are just south of Central there, hanging out in the streets, starting fires and garbage bins and looking for their next fix, aren't entirely to blame. Because, well, look at them. They don't have much to take. They don't have many resources to utilize. And while that is, in fact, a fact, I dare people to challenge themselves to the idea that those people would not be there if their government had not purposefully and with intent, through a governmental agency known as the DEA, destroy that community. Again, be accountable for your actions. It's going to cost more than money. You need to go into that community and you need to fix it. Not tomorrow, not next week, but yesterday. You need to be held accountable. You need to pay those people. You need to stop allowing countless amounts of drugs to go into neighborhoods that you know are going to just rip apart more lives. 2 plus 2 is 4. You feel me? I mean, I know that. So the wheels have fallen off. And I think it's important that as members of our community here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, we don't stand for this. Like, seriously, we need not stand for this. Not just here in Albuquerque, but all over the world. What happened to that community here in Albuquerque is tragic. And that's not even an appropriate word for it. So before we get too heated, I just want to remind the DEA again that you do not have a license to unalive people. You do not have a license, not morally, not legally, not ethically, not in any way, shape, or form, to do the things that are asked of you to be done. Say no, man. I mean, seriously, just say no. Didn't we all learn this in grade school? So, that's my challenge to the DEA. I'm really disappointed. Very disappointed, to say the least. Okay, guys, now we got myself out of character. That was fun, wasn't it? I haven't been on camera in like a week. I'm sure that I look just about as good as I feel, which, I mean, for being completely honest, isn't all that well right now. The last couple of weeks have been going like a roller coaster, posted the videos back up again, have been really happy, have been really sad, but I just, really feel like I made a huge mistake yesterday and this morning. And so I wanted to acknowledge that because this is me, and this is the only way I know how to express how I feel. And it's unfortunate, because I wish I was able to do this, just like normally. But I think a part of the problem I've had in my own personal life is the lack of making these videos too, just because this has always been a thing that I do to make myself feel better, kind of a thing, and I've neglected to do that because I've been on some other stuff, you know what I mean, and this morning was an awful morning, but there is one person out there that knows all about it, too much about it, you know what I mean, and I want her to know that I care about her so much, and it's kind of like one of those things, where I mean, all you can do is hope and be your best self, and I haven't been my best self the entire duration of our relationship now, and I think before it becomes too much of a problem and before it gets to be too late, I just need that girl to know that I really do care about her, and no one knows what I'm talking about. You feel me? I mean, what? You see what I'm saying? Like, don't give me a hard time about this. I'm just, this is all that I know how to do, and it was confirmed that you do watch my videos, and so I think that's awesome. Um, I love you, and I'm really sorry. Seriously. I've never had to do this much apologizing in my life, nor have I ever felt like I had the need to apologize this much in my life. I mean, I guess, sorry to throw some shade out there, but this girl is the one, and I just um, it's the way that it is. And so I hope she can forgive me, and I hope that you guys have a really good night, and I hope that you take care. And if you can, at the very basic level, don't do what the DEA did to the local community here, you'd be a saint. So just don't flood your local community with illegal narcotics, and you'll be fine, all right? So at least in my book, okay? Because if you do choose to sell and illicit illegal narcotics, then you're not in my good book, okay? I mean, if that means anything at all, So I hope that you guys have a really good night. And again, shout out to my girl. I know it's been tough, but I've been making you a whole bunch of promises, and hopefully we can move forward together as a couple and continue to live this awesome, really cool life. And I couldn't explain to you guys how happy and grateful that I have been. So I hope that you guys take care. All right, bye.